Hi guys, how's everyone doing? I shouldn't be this excited, I mean, it's basically you guys are watching this on a Wednesday. We're recording on a Monday. It's the day after the cup loss, so we shouldn't be very happy. Sorry for the start. Let's try again. No, okay, no, it's okay, guys. I mean, there's a lot happening. We have the announcement of. We hope that the announcement will be made. It's on a Monday. We heard from Fabrizio that Ten Hag will move to Manchester United officially. We're waiting for the official announcement again. Hopefully by Wednesday it will be done. So we're going to discuss it, of course, guys. I'll have some questions for you about Ten Hag moving to United, how we as Ajax fans should feel about it. Is he fit for United? These kind of things. But before we do, let's touch briefly on the cup final. I know it's harsh to do it, but we have to a little bit. Rick, I know it's not easy to watch cups in if you're not in Netherlands, basically, and especially in Australia. Did you manage to get some highlights at least?
I saw the ESPN and the Ajax highlights, which are pretty much mirror of each other. What I got from it was we were pretty slow to get out of the blocks. I think that's been mentioned on the Game Talk anyway. I mean, we were a bit unlucky with those couple of VAR offsides, but since such the introduction of VAR, those minimal movements are gonna cost us or cost the opposition either way. But we had our chances. We let them in. That 15 minutes past half time really kind of hurt us, and we couldn't get the game back. So that's pretty much what I got out of the highlights.
What were you expecting before we went into this game? Were you confident, or were you a little bit more nervous about this game?
I've become more and more nervous as the second half of the season has gone on, and I'm sure we'll discuss about that later. But the Onana situation, injuries, just the flow and the chemistry of the team is kind of degraded over the second half of the season. So I was fairly nervous actually.
Okay.
I was worried, especially if Onana was still in goal. I didn't know where his head was at. But and there was a few positional changes and changes within the squad in the first 11 that I was unexpected to see. But at the end of the day, that's the team that Ten Hag put out, and it didn't quite work out in the end. But disappointing to say the least. I'm sure that everyone would have loved at least the double this year, but I'm very nervous about us losing both the Eredivisie and the Cup this year, the way we are going.
Yeah, I think there are more Ajax fans worried about that. Also, we read this on Twitter, and the reactions we read, a lot of people, of course, upset, disappointed about losing. Not the first time this season, by the way. We lost the Johan Cruijffschaal at the start of the season as well. So basically, PSV has already 2 prizes, and we're still, we have the best, the best margins basically to win the league. So let's hope it goes that way, but we'll touch upon that in a bit. Ajax, I want to go to you. We received a question from Papimento, and he wants to know how you feel about after the cup loss. And I have to ask you this question, but just briefly.
Yeah, thanks, Papimento, for that question. How do I feel, man? I'm always feeling sour if we lose, especially in cup games or in any game, actually. So, I'm sour that we didn't win the cup, and I didn't expect it, to be honest, also, because it was looking quite well. When I saw the match yesterday, I was actually cheering a few times with the Masraoui goal. I was actually cheering with the Klaassen goal. I was cheering, and then 2 times the VAR interrupted it, and they turned it back. No goal. So that was quite unfortunate. But still, if it's offside, it's offside. That are the rules at the moment, with the VAR. But kudos to PSV. They actually played quite well. They had more shots on the goal, off target, on target. So they were actually quite dominant in that area. And the field play is different, of course. We maybe did not shoot as much as they did, but we were dominant in certain phases of the game. You can see that the lack of rotation earlier in the season now we have problems, because to me it looks like the sharpness that we had earlier on in the season, the focus to not get any goals conceded, like as a unit, that focus is a little bit gone, in my opinion. And what does it have to do with? Is it the players that are with their minds at new clubs, like moving on? But one could say that that's not the case, because Gravenberch was one of the better players yesterday, and he was probably going to move to Bayern Munich. So what is the problem? Is Ten Hag with his mind in United already? I do not know, but I can see a big difference between like a few months ago and now. And this also has to do with, I think, the lack of rotation, because the players that came in didn't perform up to speed that they have to, like when we need them, And the same with Brobbey, he plays him, and kudos for that he wants to give him some minutes. But I do not understand that he chooses for this in one of the biggest matches of the season. Why all of a sudden in this match does he drop Haller and play Brobbey? These kind of things I will never understand. Why not against smaller teams or teams that it's more possible to give somebody minutes, And I know he was injured, but still, now we have this big cup game. Haller has been playing all season when he was available, and now all of a sudden he's not playing. These are weird kind of decisions to me, You're not going to switch it up that much in such a big game, but he did, and unfortunately, I do think Brobbey didn't have one of his best matches. He wasn't able to really convince or be dominant for us. So all in all, I was quite disappointed to see our team lose, man. And I hope that answers the question from Propimento. Yeah. And hopefully we can still pull it together and take that competition back to Amsterdam this season, the trophy. But we have some harsh games left, 5 games left when we're still not there, only 4 points difference. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touch upon very important points, and I want to go a little bit deeper in that as well. Rick, one of the things that Ajax is mentioning, which is very interesting as well, on this channel, we have been talking throughout the season about the lack of rotation, et cetera, et cetera. Apart from the fact, I don't think that's the whole story, but specifically about this, Ajax is making a point that we have come to this phase in the season that it's either grab or miss out on the prizes, like now the cup and soon also the league. We only have 5 games left. But what you hear, you have a divided fan base. You have a fan base that say our bench is not good enough, and you have the other ones that say, yeah, but these bench players, it's too late now. It's too late to make use of them because we don't know how good they are. They don't fit the system. They don't fit the way we play. They haven't proven themselves. So how do you view this? And I also wanted to ask you another question, which we got from one of our followers, which is from Nico. He said, should we change something in our midfield in the next couple of games? Because people are questioning this Alvarez and Klaassen in the center, both of them, because of their lack of technical ability on the ball. So a lot of questions you're going your way, but if you can just give your opinion on this.
Ajax is right in terms of the use of players throughout the season, rotation. I mean, it's been discussed many times. My opinion on the Brobbey insertion with the cup game, I think the connection between Klaassen and Haller is not really there. So maybe they wanted to try something different. But again, you're right. Why do that in the cup final? The Anthony injury has obviously caused a lot of chaos within the midfield and pushing Berghuis to the right wing, leaving the 10 position a bit uncomfortable. At the moment, Klaassen hasn't really played a lot of minutes, therefore he's not getting the chemistry within the front three that he probably needs to get. Alvarez, yeah, well, what do you do? He's a good holding midfielder. Technically, he's not there. Defensively, he's great. He's tall. He can push the ball around, but he's not, he's not pushing forward. Well, Gravenberch is Gravenberch, right? So he can just pull something magical out the hat like he did on the weekend. But again, like if the connection's not there, the chemistry's not there, then it's become a bit of a mumble jumble type of whack-a-mole type of situation with the 10 and the 6 and the 8. So to me, the midfield it's a bit of a mess at the moment because there's no chemistry due to lack of rotation, due to lack of giving people minutes, and then we're throwing people in positions where they probably haven't been comfortable. in big matches like this. So, you know, we've still got 2 big away matches coming forward, which we need to at least get, you know, points from. And that situation needs to be resolved beforehand. Whether we throw Bejes back in the 10 and then just have maybe a header and get some more minutes on the right wing, or throw someone else on the right wing to cover that, then that may be the other option. But to me, you know, we can't keep switching it around. Or the connection with Klaassen and Nalai's not there. It obviously was a little bit better on Sunday, but you know, putting it in a match like that is probably unfortunate.
Yeah.
The situation with.
I just want to say one thing, right? I think we're being critical at this point, right? Because we lost the cup game. But not only that, we have been struggling a little bit. We have been winning games, but we have been struggling. It's not like the first half of the season. But I want to just make a comment. Maybe you guys agree or not. Also, you guys can react on that. Ajax, you as well. I didn't think we played a bad match against PSV. I mean, it was decided by fine margins at the end. You know, the offside goals, the post, these kind of things. So it's not about that. I think if I'm just questioning whether if we win the cup, if we had won the cup, would have been still this discussion ongoing about the midfield, about the lack of rotation and these kind of things, because now we're talking about it, but we could have won the cup. Honestly, it was it was very small margins, you know. So how I mean, viewers are watching us right now and they say like, okay, you guys are being critical, but I mean, Ajax didn't play a bad match. And even Ten Hag said, I mean, according to him, there was only one team that should have won the cup or hold the trophy, and that was Ajax, because of the way we played. But we gave it away in 3 minutes, which was our own mistake. And there were a couple of goals which we didn't make. We hit the post, these kind of things. So he went into a little bit the bad luck argument, you know? So how do you see that, Rick?
You always have to present a positive outlook to your players, to your fans, and things like that. So I can understand Ten Hag's point of view. We still have plenty of matches left in the season to kind of fight that off. We're winning, but we're winning ugly. To be fair, we're not playing brilliant football like we did in the first half of the season. There is in patches, but it's nowhere near where we were in the first half of the season. Where, you know, I think by overplaying a lot of players, we're in a position where we are now, where either players are burnt out and have lost motivation, or just, you know, lack of energy. And then the players that are being put in are basically players who think they could potentially be in the first 11, but only getting the 15, 20 minutes. So their motivation is not as high. And so we're not a collective unit at the moment, I don't think. I think that's the problem. We're a bit disjointed because there's you know, the scale of minutes per player is very, you know, against the first 11 that are currently always getting the minutes. And then you've got the players that are on the bench who are probably only getting 15, 20, you know, but not getting a start against the lower teams where they probably should have. Yeah. So that's, you know, that's my point of view of it anyway. So, you know, yeah, we're very, very disjointed in terms of, you know, giving the players the rotation, the minutes that they deserve. So the team chemistry is where it was in the first half of the season, and that we should be putting sides away like we were. So we're not doing that at the moment.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, and I will go directly to Ajax. So if you have to give 3 categories, you have 3 categories. You have tactics, you have motivation, and you have, like what you said, burned out, let's say, energy level, right? So you have 3 boxes basically, and you have to divide 100% among these boxes. How much would you give, because of how we've been playing lately, recent weeks? How much would be in the category energy, tactics, and what was the third one again?
Motivation.
Motivation. Thank you. Yeah. So how much would you give each box? Rick, you first.
I probably would put energy about 40%. I mean, the first 11 are, you know, pretty burnt out, I can see. And then you could probably split the other 2 30-30. To me, yeah, look, we're just at a point where the players that are starting, you know, they're burning out quite quickly. And the players that are either leaving or got talks of leaving and things like that, you know, there's some motivation to kind of not be at their best, but they could be at their best because they're in talks and they're not at a situation. I mean, you look at Nico for every time he gets an opportunity to be on the field, he's playing his heart out because it's been known for a couple of seasons now that he wants to try a different club. So that there's the motivation for actually presenting.
Sorry, Rick, when you talk about motivation, right? Just to highlight this one, is it motivation or is it more focus? Because if I see the players at the end looking at PSV celebrating the trophy, you could see their faces and their body language. They were very much disappointed. So I cannot. I mean, in that sense, it's not. I mean, if they were not motivated, they wouldn't care, basically, right?
Yeah, there's a difference though. Like I think that with the cup game is you're playing for the actual cup, right? You're in the final. Of course, you're going to be motivated to win a trophy.
Okay.
I'm talking about the other games, the Eredivisie games. Things like that. Your motivation, the quality of opposition, the level of energy required. That your expectation. Things like that. You should be beating those teams. 4-5-0 is there, but we're struggling to get through that. So whether the motivation to the opposition is not great, so therefore let's just kind of go through the motions and try and get it done. And as we've seen in the previous weeks, we kind of just scrape through. So I mean that whether it's the motivation's there or we're just kind of just pushing through and then expect the 3 points, but sometimes the opposition's motivation to beat Ajax as opposed to just a normal Eredivisie game against someone else is that's something that we need to expect every week.
That's our curse, right? That's Ajax. So
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Ajax, what's your take on this whole discussion?
I want to postpone my answer to the question with the percentages because I want to react to the first one first.
Sure.
Are we being too critical, Juan? No, we aren't. That's just bollocks. Because we've been from the beginning of the season, Ajax has been dubbed the most quality of the teams in the Eredivisie. We've been dubbed the team with the most quality, the best bench, and other teams have to rebuild like Feyenoord and PSV with a new coach. So no, that's just bollocks. If Ten Hag doesn't become champions this season, it's just done. It's a failed season, and he failed as a manager this season because him not winning the cup, him maybe not winning the league is just unacceptable. Because we might have played beautiful football in the Champions League in the group stage, but we got eliminated against Benfica on the same kind of thing that we've been eliminated last year. Playing the same style of football, trying to find that goal, not altering your team, not substituting soon enough, and then the loss of football kick in, you get knocked out by one chance from a free kick. Same old story. He might have been better, but it's also about results. Same with the cup. He lost yesterday. There are excuses that maybe we were a little bit unfortunate, but still, PSV played well also, and we went all out when we were behind, and they had some big chances. If they had a little bit more of composed of players, like the Bruma in the end, he could have scored maybe once or twice. So no, it's not us being critical. It's just how it is. We're only 4 points ahead, almost at the end of the season. We played quite decently against the bigger teams in the competition, but we lost so many points against the lower tier teams because they were parking the bus and we didn't know how to cope with it.
And we had some narrow escapes as well.
There's so many narrow escapes. So no, we're not being too critical. I at least expect us to win the double with this kind of material. Frank de Boer, who won like 4 championships with Ajax. Do you know what kind of quality he had in the Ajax team?
Compared to this one, yeah.
It's miles apart from what Ten Hag has. The financial situation he has, the ability that he can attract certain players. Did you ever think Frank de Boer could have ever dreamed about getting Anthony, for example? No
way.
That was not possible in that era, So for me, if he doesn't become champions, it's just done. It's just a failed season. It's already a semi-failed season because the way we got eliminated by Benfica just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I'm so proud of how we did in the group stage, but the way we went out, come on, man. We were better over the 2 matches again, and we got eliminated the same way. It was with Roma also. It was against the Spurs because we didn't alter our style, We went out against Getafe, who were like playing a certain kind of football and were all the time on the ground and making theater stuff, same shit every year. And I'm not being negative about Ten Hag, but no, Juan, we are not being too critical. We're actually quite mild, if you ask me.
Okay.
To get back to your percentages question, I think it's just a mix of all. I could give it a 40, 30, 30. I could give it a 33, 33, 33. It doesn't matter that much. All of the circumstances that you mentioned are happening at the moment.
Yeah.
And it all has to do with lack of rotation and including certain players in the squad. I cannot imagine. Maybe it was to tease PSV a little bit, but how is it possible that Ihatara already got some minutes, but Univar still has to wait?
Yeah, people arguing that Ihatara is a substitute for the right wing position. Univar doesn't play that position.
But Juan, what happens if you just play Univar at the 10? It's also possible. You can just play Berghuis at the right side. Why Ihatara there?
Yeah, but Ajax, Berghuis was already playing as a right winger. So who is his substitute on the right wing? We don't have on.
So we can rely on him to play full 90 minutes? Only Anthony can do that? He's not a professional fit enough to play 90 minutes?
No, you can. Of course you can. And I'm not diminishing what you're saying, right? I mean, I'm not defending Ten Hag. I think personally that Univar should have had his chance
already
weeks ago, to be honest. But that's another discussion. I agree with you. Look, we have to transcend to the other topic, right? We have to go to Ten Hag moving to United because you see what's happening with this team. It seems like we're running out of steam. It seems that way. And we have been talking about this. My next question to you is, we heard from Fabrizio, it's going to happen. We have been anticipating this for weeks. I mean, rumors everywhere about him leaving. And he has been always the case, I want to focus on Ajax, and the cup is important and these kind of things. But now there's no way back, basically. It's happening. I want your take on two things, basically. Ajax, you can go first. I want your take on, is it the right time for him to leave Ajax? Should we, as Ajax fans, how should we perceive this? And secondly, for United, how do you think Ten Hag, is this a good choice for Ten Hag going to United? I know you've been on another channel and talking heavily about Ten Hag. You were quite positive. So I'm wondering what you're going to say now.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Juan. I'm still positive about our coach, but us being too critical, that's just bollocks. And I had to make my statement there because we're not in cruise control, and we still have 5 matches left, and still anything can happen. Yep. So enough on that. Is it time for Ten Hag to leave Ajax? No, I do not know because time-wise, it's possible for him to leave now. It's like natural, He's been at the club since like what was it, like 4 years now, maybe 5?
4.5 to 2007, 2018, January 2018.
Yeah, no. So he's been here a long time now. So naturally, if you look at how long the coaches stay at our club, it is natural for him to get a move, But do I want him to stay? Yes, because I think another coach will have a difficult time to establish himself at the club, and Ten Hag already knows what to do. He knows to get results, and at least we usually win the championship. I hope we can say this at the end of this season also. But if he moves to United, it's possible. I understand if he wants to go, but and I do not think that Ajax, because I read it in the media this day, that they will try to do everything to maybe try and keep him at the club. I do think that ship has sailed. So
yeah, that was the interview with Gary Hamstra prior to the game, the cup game. But this is something they tried already, but they couldn't, or I don't know what happened, but they couldn't.
And to get back to your question about Manchester United, I've talked about this a lot. I do think that Manchester United is one of the most difficult jobs at the moment that there is in the world, because there's so many things wrong at that club, not only with the players, but especially within the club itself, with their owners, with the way the club is being run. So this is why it's quite good from Ten Hag that he asks for more power when he comes there to actually influence the players who go out, the players who come in, contract negotiations and stuff, because this is establishing more power for yourself to actually build something like you want it. And this is, I think, necessary, because if you remain giving the power to people that do not know football and they are just seeing it as a marketing instrument, they will not make the same decisions that are needed for the club. They only see dollar signs in their case, because they're American owners.
Yep.
So, and Ten Hag sees it from a football perspective. And I think this is what is necessary. Is it the best job for him? To be honest, maybe Manchester City is better because of the way they play and with the Pep Guardiola style already.
You won't be invited to the other channel anymore.
I know, but it's similar. But it's an honest opinion. No, it's more similar to the way of playing for Ten Hag. So a lot of the foundation is already being built there. But if Ten Hag gets the time to actually do what he does best and build something there, and they will not create havoc around him if he doesn't perform in the first season, then maybe yes, there can be something built there that is quite beautiful, and maybe they will perform in the second or third season. If it goes the same that it went with different coaches in the past, and they are like after a half a year already discussing his position at the club, no. But for him, there are better clubs to go to because they have more stability. For Manchester United, it is a beautiful club with beautiful fans, but he has his job cut out for him there, and the difficulty of the job there is much higher than a different club that are more stable at the moment. So I guess we have to wait and see. I do think it's interesting, and I will be watching it with close attention. So we just have to wait and see how he does.
Yep. Rick, what's your take?
Well, Manchester United is it's a make or break kind of career decision, isn't it? So, I mean, you look at the previous coaches that have coached at Man United since Ferguson, and then, you know, apart from David Moyes trying to work his way back into coaching, they pretty much basically killed everyone. I know Louis van Gaal's gone back to national coaching, but to me, look, it can work. You only have to look at Celtic and Ange Postecoglou's situation, come in from Japan, change completely the way that they style, you know, football, very much in the same type of way that Ajax plays football, and it's working for them. It was a bit of a slow start, but it's worked for them. So it can be done. To me, I think there's too many high-profile personalities in the club that probably, you know, won't be as willing to play the way that he wants to play, and that probably needs to be sorted out first. To you know, for Ten Hag to shine in the Premier League, he needs probably a clean slate, and I don't think some of the players there will give him that. Depending on what the owners want to do and what kind of power he holds to buy and sell is another problem within itself. But in terms of whether Ten Hag's the right time to go, well, you know, like Ajax says, you don't really know. You know, in terms of progression, he's taken it from, you know, Ajax being probably Europa League kind of team at best to, you know, like we won every game in the group of the Champions League, and things happen, of course, injuries and whatnot. But you know, I think he's progressed the team tenfold in terms of how we've been presenting ourselves, European mainly, and you know, winning the leagues and things like that. You know, losing Overmars in the season probably doesn't help as well, because then we're you know, we're also looking for a new director of football, so we're pretty much next season starting from the bottom barrel. So and who we lose over the summer could be a real test of our, you know, resolve and wholly rebuilding the team of next year. So where our expectations lie next year could be another problem for us. So yeah, that's look, it's sad to see him go. I think he's done great things for the club, but you know, career progression is always going to be some individuals' you know, aspirations. So that's what I think about that.
Look, I want your final thoughts about what we discussed. Any topic in particular you want to mention or say something, or you think, okay, I want to add this to it, you can do it. Before we do, I just want to tell our viewers we received some more questions also from, let me see, from Cisco. Who should we sign in the summer, and is John Heitinga the perfect fit for Ajax? These kind of questions, we will do it at a later stage in another extra talk, of course. So there are a bunch of those coming, so we will touch upon that. And there's another question from Sully. Has Erik ten Hag taken the squad as far as possible? Maybe you can react quickly on this in your closing arguments, Ajax.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say to Cisco, go check out if you haven't already, but you probably have the extra talk we did with Sahbi and Juan like a week and a half ago about who we think should be the successor of Ten Hag. Because a lot of coaches came to be discussed in also Heitinga we discussed in that episode. So check it out. Also about your final question of if Ten Hag did everything he could with this squad. It's difficult, Juan, because a lot of the players in this squad already going to move on to another club, you know. So maybe it's just a natural ending of an era, and we just have to accept and also be grateful for all he did for our club. You know, he did much and he performed very well. And yes, sometimes we're being critical, and yes, things can be done better, but let's be honest, we're not a machine, you know. He's a human being, the players are human beings, and they do the best that they can, and you cannot win it all. But as a fan, you expect like perfectionism, you know. You want them to win all and not make any mistakes. I just hope at United he will get the time that is necessary, and also he will utilize his bench a bit more and work on that plan B. To get back to the question, no, I do think he could still reach something more with this squad, but a rebuild will be necessary. So maybe he's thinking also, I've been rebuilding this squad in the past already. Since the semi-final in the Champions League, I had to rebuild again because players were being sold. Now, if I have to rebuild, let me try the biggest rebuild of all. Let's go to Man United and start like a new adventure there instead of another spell at Ajax, you know, rebuilding the squad again. So I understand, and for me, I would have hoped he would have stayed another year, but I think it's also good that he tries his luck at another club, and we just have to rebuild again, and hopefully with a talented manager. I'm very, very curious who we will get, and hopefully the quality is there.
Yeah, I mean, just to touch upon that quickly, Rick, and then you can go about Solly's question. I think this is something we can answer best after the season, you know, how far Ten Hag has taken us as a squad, because we can look back and reflect. Now we're in the middle of it, so let's hope we win the league title.
We're still a bit disappointed, Juan. You can see it also with me. I'm still a bit sour tonight. So
I think all of us we are a little bit, because I remember in the first half of the season, everybody was buzzing and everybody was like thinking, "Oh, this is going to be a special season." Everybody was thinking that. Anyways, Rick, your closing argument.
Look, with Sully's question, I think the current squad, you know, if we get the league, then that's probably as good as we can get. I mean, that's just all in what you can say, really. But I mean, Ajax has always been a rebuilding club. That's the forever problem that we're always going to have. We build youth, we sell it on, we make money. You know, we look at South American players, Danish players, you know, quite young, and we build them up, and you know, they go to bigger and better things. Yes. So, you know, we're always in a position where we're never going to have a stable squad, and you know, outstanding players that make their mark during the season are always going to be targeted. So for Aaron Ten Hag to continually have to rebuild from scratch is going to be, you know, that's the forever problem that we'll always have. With him going to Man United, you know, you might get some more stability, but depending on the owners and the problems that he faces there, you know, that'll be a different problem for him to have. But again, you know, like you said, it's the biggest rebuild of them all. Yeah, it probably will be, but there may be some more stability, and he probably has a bit more financial freedom to buy and sell whoever he needs. With regards to other things, I have to say that, you know, whilst we are, you know, kind of struggling within the second half of the season, we still managed to scrape through, and hopefully we can take the league and take something from it. You know, if we were to lose or not take maximum amount of points where we needed against those two major away games, then you know, it probably will be a disappointment for Aaron Ten Hag and the team, and for us, the fans, because like you said, we were buzzing in the first half of the season. We felt unbeatable at that point. You know, to kind of dwindle down and not win anything would probably be a sad way for Ten Hag to leave, I think. So hopefully we can finish it off, and there we go. So that's all from me.